Welcome to the Loveall Sales Podcast. Today's episode is going to hit home to a lot of individuals, and I need to make this episode because last night I was thinking to myself, it was probably about 11 o'clock, 10:50, before we got out of this office. If you're watching it, if you're listening to it, this is the office in which me and my wife work every single day. You can see that is her area right there. And when I say her area, that is like her, computer. That is where she does her content. And it got to a certain point. The reason why we had to have that place right there is because I needed to sit here and work, and then we move things around. This all started because I found out that I had cancer, meaning starting a sales training company. And it sincerely, for the second time, found out that I had cancer for the second time. And it truly changed my entire perspective of life. And it made me want to give more back. It made me want to serve people and truly change people's lives. Inside the dealership, we can only do so much. However, in the entire world, the reach is so big if you can find that audience. And that's what I'm doing right now, or trying to do, And I was just thinking last night when we were about to wrap things up at 11 o'clock, and I made a social media post about this about 10 o'clock. And, I just took a picture, and in some of the social media platforms, others, I made a video. And I just talk about how hard it is to I understand why most people start a business or never start a business. And if they do, why they give up. They say that true, successful businesses that make over $1 million a year, less than 1% of all businesses will ever do that. And I know deep down inside that I am 100% committed. And the money is not the problem, or I shouldn't say the money is not the end goal. The goal, sincerely, is to help so many individuals become so good in the automotive industry. That is my goal. And, so many people have said this, if you help so many people, good things happen. And yesterday, somebody reached out, and it literally it gave me what we're doing really is working. And this individual's been in the auto industry for over 30 years. And he works for an amazing, huge company. And he was like, "Hey, Brent, I hope you're doing great. I stumbled upon your TikTok videos, and I have to say, impressive work. I manage a few dealerships and would love to chat about how you could help assist us with our phone calls. Let me know a good time. Thanks." So I'm going to connect with, we've already started, conversing, but it just, no one knows that I exist. And that's the way that I look at it. People do, but yet again, most people don't. So I am just trying to just build an audience right now. And it is one of, my voice is extremely raspy, but it is one of the hardest things that you will ever do. This relates to sales. And that is starting a business. When you start in the auto industry, you are building a business inside a business. That is ultimately what you are doing. The reason why you start off selling cars is because your dealership has an audience, because they advertise a lot, meaning through a lot of dealerships spend tens of thousands of dollars every month. And obviously the more they invest, the more, leads you get, the more inbound phone calls, the more showroom ups that you get, the less they spend, the less you get. And, the more they've been in business, the longer they've been in business, people keep coming back. So it truly is building an audience. And to go back to it, so many people, some people never catch on. And that's why 42% of people leave with inside of 90 days. Other people just stay average their entire life. Very, very, very few people keep their numbers just going up. And when I say very few, how many people sell 30 cars a month? How many people sell 40? How many people sell 50, 60, 70 cars a month? The more you say bigger numbers, the less and less and less. But why is that? And it's because it's hard. And I mean, it is hard. I'll never forget, and I made this episode that I talk about this specific issue and challenge yesterday of how do people consistently hit their goals and how I got to 50, 60 cars. But I was stuck at 30 to 35 cars. And I remember it was one thing that I changed that sincerely allowed me to get to 40 real fast, 50 real fast, and 60 real fast. Within inside of 6 months of getting to 40, I got to 60. You got to think that is a 50% increase, and I did it within inside of 60 months. And I'm not doing that, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm doing it because I'm saying it because it is hard. And I understand building this business like it is the hardest thing that I have ever done in my life, probably next to fighting cancer. And the reason why I say that is because things are always changing. Like last night, like we're going to start using a system called Twilio. Twilio is like where I can send out a massive text message to my entire database. Entire database is about 1,500 people that I have their phone numbers, that have scheduled calls, that have signed up for like their email blast, that have just sent me their info to get like some access to training. Like it's 1,400 people, roughly speaking. So I signed up for them, and then, like I'm a perfectionist. So I type out the message and then I include the link. The link is going to be the podcast from yesterday because I think it is fire. I believe it is fire. That's up to the audience to truly, say if they listen to it. But I was just looking at the video and I noticed that, like you should always inspect what you expect, as the old saying goes. And I've been releasing, trying to at least one podcast a day. But most of the weeks it usually ends to 4 or 5. But I'm trying to do one a day. It's just time. We only have so much time. And that is like, I was noticing like it looked extremely blurry. And then my wife, because she's the more technology person, she spends like over an hour last night. First we were like, we got to get a better camera. Then we found out it's not the camera. It's like the cords, and it's like the settings to zoom because they compress it. It was several things. So last night we bought everything that we need to go ahead and, record this next podcast, which will be tomorrow, because we had a, buy it off Amazon. It'll get here today between like 11 and 2. So today I'm filming this on my iPad, just filming it. And, that was just a challenge that I was like, my goodness, something else. Like it is always something else, meaning like, when you think that you've got, just making your podcast, you got to do something else. And the Twilio, we couldn't figure out like all of these charges. It shows that like it's supposed to be $130 a month. And then you got to pay for and then it ends up being like $300 a month. And is it an issue? No. But it was just like, what are all these charges? And then they don't have a customer support number, meaning if you can call in, so you just have to wait on emails. And then you email and they're like, it'll take 2 to 3 days. And then you got to wait once you respond. And then it keeps going back and forth. And it's just nerve wracking. But it's just always something that you are constantly just I am a perfectionist, and I know that I'll never be perfect, and the company will never be perfect, but I want everything to be as good as possible. And that's part of the reason why, the students involved in the sales training platforms that sign up, that allow me to train them, that's why they get great results, is because I am committed to them getting great results. But going back to it, like last night, I was just thinking to myself, this is why most people never start, give up. This is the reason, is because it's hard. And it's the same way in sales. Like the reason why most people never get to 20, 30, 40, 50 is because of themselves. It's because they give up. They're happy plateauing. They're happy. And deep down inside, they want to get more, but they're just not willing to do the work to get more. And that means skill set, meaning, it's like some people are just natural salespeople. I believe that. And I also believe that, the most talented salespeople are the individuals who truly built themselves or invested in themselves to become the person that they are. Like I'm not a natural salesperson. I did not, I was not just an outgoing, talk to anybody type person. Like I sucked at sales for a long time, and then I just like became better and better and better because like my mentor made me who I am. And one of the things that he shared with me, and I share it with people, and I'll share another story with you all. Like one of the things that like there's a lot of meaningful conversations that me and my mentor had, like that I'll never forget. And one of them was like every single day critique yourself in a good manner. Don't beat yourself up, but critique yourself in a good manner and write down everything that customers say to you. And then you got to figure out ways, not just one way, but ways, multiple ways to overcome that. So when it happens again, that you can overcome it, because everybody is different. And that's why you need to learn multiple ways. And that's what I teach my students. And somebody like I got my first bad like feedback in the sense of a student. And this individual, like his dealership paid for him. And, part of the thing is that I tell my students is that we speak every day. And when you are talking to people and they don't result in a yes or an appointment, that we need to learn ways to overcome that. And that is my commitment to them. Does it take a lot of time? Absolutely. Like, what other sales trainer will literally talk to you every single day and help you become like the absolute best version? I don't know any. And I've done like I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in myself. And that includes like before I got in car sales, because I've done that for 12 years, selling over the phone, like the books that you see behind me, like 90% of the books I give away. But that's beside the point. Like I've invested so much money in myself, and I got my first feedback yesterday, and this individual just stopped reaching out. So I reached out to his GM and I was like, hey, this person's not coming to class. This person's not reaching out. And he was like, well, I'll talk to him and I'll see what it is. And he was like, well, he just felt like, it's just too much. And I'm like, too much? Like I would never personally employ somebody that that tells me that they're not willing to do the work to become the best version of themselves. Never. Because that individual are they committed? The answer is no. And don't get me wrong, like this person just straight up ghosted me. And does that hurt my feelings? Let him do him. I'm committed to growing this business, to growing every single student who is committed. But the one thing that, like, it just was like, what? And every single student has got like amazing results. The worst student so far has picked up at least 4 deals a month. At least 4 deals a month. The best person's picked up over 20 deals a month. So it just like, it was like, for real? And I was like, and I made it, I was like, well, do this, because that individual, like I personally know the GM. And I was like, just do this then. I was like, send me another student. And I was like, no hard feelings, and he was like, all right, I'll let you know. And, that was 2 days ago. So I'll reach out to him again today. But it was like my first out of, I've done 6 programs. I've done hundreds of students so far. And that was the first one that has told me like negative feedback. And I was like, my God. But yet again, like out of, that's less than 1%. So that's an amazing statistic from my standpoint, and I'm still very happy. But yet again, I was like, being 100%, meaning everybody that just loves me gets results. Like that's top notch in my opinion, But that's I just wanted to make this podcast and sincerely say, like, I know why people don't start businesses, while they give up, while they never truly like keep it growing and like reach the levels that they deep down inside want. And it's the same way with sales. I know why people don't get to 20, 30, 40, 50 cars. It's because they're not committed. they sincerely are like halfway in. There's, like I make programs available now. When I first started doing sales training, I did like my program. It was I don't want to say a decent bit of money, but it was a decent bit of money. But the return on your investment was like huge. But people just don't look at it that way. They look at it like, I'm putting out this money. I don't know if I'm going to get this money back, and or it's ego, where they just feel like, I know everything right now. You can't help me right now, which is wrong, because there are levels to sales. The better your skill set, and also like having a mentor push you and hold you accountable so much. Like I love having somebody, like I always have a mentor. I'm paying for somebody right now, and that person costs a lot of money. So like understand, like there are levels to sales. And if you want to get to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 cars a month, you need to hire somebody that truly has been there. And I have been there. And I've been there from a standpoint of like a management, where I've been a desk manager, a GSM, a GM. Like I've been to where you want to go, so I understand it. I'm personally paying for myself to go through NADA Academy, which is one of the best experiences that I've ever went through. Investing in myself, that is a huge investment. Every other month, it's like $7,000 that I'm personally paying for. But yet again, it's making me better. It's making me sharper. So when I talk to like dealerships, like that individual that I mentioned earlier today, like that is a huge, like just from a knowledge standpoint, that I know how to run I don't have hands on because I'm just learning it, but I know so much more about service. I know so much more about parts. I know so much more about the entire dealership, how to read more financial statements in detail. I was decent earlier, but investing in myself, investing in yourself, that's why most people never reach their true potential. And I sincerely believe that more people can get to 20, 30, 40 cars a month, but they're just not committed. And once you truly change that, that's something that it just creates confidence. It just creates, like last night, being up that late was just like it was exhausting. But yet again, like I would say at a bare minimum, we get out of here every single day at 9 o'clock. That's 14 hours. 9 o'clock because we started. Yeah, that's 14 hours at a bare minimum. We do at least 6 days a week. Some days we don't even take a day off. We do 7 days a week. So, and then, like a couple weeks ago, we took 2 days off in a row because it was my wife's birthday. And we still take a little bit time here and there, just not work, go play with the kids, because we got 2 small daughters. So it's not like we put life on the back burner. Like I love horse racing, bought some horse passes, season passes, like for 21 days, Keeneland, one of the most beautiful racetracks that you'll ever go to there in Del Mar. But another story in itself. But it just got me thinking last night. Like I sincerely know why 90% of people never reach their full potential, if not higher. And if you're listening to this, watching this, and you sincerely want more, if you are a manager, a principal, some sort of, GSM, GM, variable ops, fixed ops, if you want your dealership, yourself to grow, I am, and I mean this in the most humble way, I sincerely believe I am the best automotive trainer that exists. And I do know this, that I am the most hardworking, that I will go above and beyond to make sure you get the results that you want yourself, your team. Like even like there's one dealership that I am working with right now, and I am so proud to say this. Like they've already, and today is Thursday. There's still 3 days left in the month. And they have had their best month ever. And it will be their best year ever too. But, it's just seeing, they'll probably have 3 people hit 30 cars each, which is insane. But, they are committed. And it's commitment is everything. Like, it sincerely is. Like, talk is cheap. The results will speak for themselves. If you don't get the results, it's all on you. It is no one else. If you can't close somebody, you blame it on the manager. It's on you for you can't bumping them. Whatever it is, like putting another more money in the trade, we'll get it for less. Like, it comes back to you. It comes back to your commitment. Like, the most important thing, like, motivation fades. Motivation is great. I love motivation. Sometimes, like, when I'm driving and when I'm doing stuff, I'll listen to some motivational stuff. But, discipline, it's great too. But the most important thing is this. It's commitment and habits. Like, if you truly are committed, your habits are going to be on point. And your commitment and your habits will get you to where you want to go. Like, a month in, I wanted to give up. Did I give up on this sales training company? Absolutely not. Like, I literally was like crying a couple days. Like, this is hard. Like, no money coming in. Like it was hard. And then, like, just wife, like, just let's go, just pushing me. And, it's the same way in sales. Like, we get down on ourselves, and sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to understand, like, that's why you train. Your skill sets are everything. If you're not reaching where you want to go, the only person that can change that is you. If you don't wait on your dealership to invest in you, invest in yourself. If you're a dealership, invest in your people, because it is the best return that you will ever get. It shows them that you care about them, that you want more for them. Like, I'll never forget this. And I've said it, numerous times, but, when I was a GM in training, the one thing that I love is I love training. Like, I took a dealership the first month. They were in business for 39 years. They would sell 60, 70 cars a month, a lot of months, 50 cars. And that was my first opportunity to run a dealership. And the owner of the dealership trusted me. He was like, hey, technically you're a GSM, but really you are a GM. You have the decision to do everything that you want to do. I was like, all right, cool. Spending money, everything. And the first month, like I look at numbers. That's just me. Everything is numbers. And I'm looking at all of their like closing percentages, face-to-face, internet, phone calls, how many they're making, what they're closing, like just everything. And I'm like, I've got a game plan, and that's before I even stepped on there. And I was like, we're going to get 100 cars. And the owner was like, I love it, man. Great job. Good luck, and all right, somebody just texted. So I was like, all right. So I go in there, first day, give this big meeting, salespeople, and say, we're going to get 100 cars. And everybody's like, what? And a lot of them, they didn't believe it. But I knew with the numbers and with the right training, we train every day, multiple times. And at the end of the month, we did 97 cars. They've never done that before. Never hit 100 cars before. We did it, and they were in business for 39 years. We did it in our first month. Second month, we did 102. Third month, it just kept going up and up and up. And also, I want to say this is because we trained every day. We role played every day. I walk by my salespeople. I'll hit you with objections all throughout the day, and you are on your game. And I fired people, and I'm okay with that. I parted ways with people. I am hard on people, but your paychecks are the biggest paychecks that you will ever get. And everybody, salespeople, have said that to me. But where I was going with this is like, I send everybody, and I train myself, the staff, and I send every single person, including my managers, to a sales trainer, because I don't just believe like this is the only way to do it is my way. I don't believe that. And I sent everybody, and it was a lot of money. And the owner of the dealership, for like, I don't want to say he questioned me, but he was just like, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's going to come off the bottom line. And it was expensive. Flights, hotels, like, the tickets to the seminar, like everything. Like, it was expensive. But yet again, like, I wanted them to experience it. And every single salesperson, and I think we had 9, maybe 10, maybe 8, with managers, it was probably 10, 11. And every single person, they came back and they were like, you're better. And I appreciated that. And I was like, well, the most important thing is, what'd you learn? What did you take away? And, I say that because I sincerely believe I am an amazing automotive sales trainer. I'm an amazing trainer. I train, power sport companies, RV companies, because it's very similar, but it all goes back to just truly being commitment in your daily habits. And there's I've got something here, and this is so true. This is if you want to win the day, this is all it comes down to. And if you can't see it, I'll read them to y'all, okay? Because it's if you do these every single day, I guarantee you at the end of the month you win. I guarantee it. There's no options, okay? And this is put how to win every day, the Loveall Daily Standard. Take massive action every single day. Believe in yourself. Minimize downtime. Key, minimize downtime. Stay in attack mode. Number 1, walk the lot, know your inventory. If you don't know your cars, you can't sell with confidence. I firmly believe every single person, the person that knows the inventory best typically makes the most money. Do they sell the most cars? No, but they typically make the most money. Number 2, train every day. Skill beats talent when talent doesn't train. You have to train every day, and you got to want to train every day. Not just because someone makes you. You should want to get better. Number 3, prospect more than anything else you do. Sales is all about a pipeline. You have to have your pipeline full every day. If you sell 3 cars today, congrats. But you sell none tomorrow, it averages out to 1.5. Nothing matters if you're not creating opportunities. If you're not in front of someone, then you need to be working on getting in front of someone. The most important part of sales is prospecting every day. Hit the service lounge at least 3 times a day. Walk to the service lounge. There are tons of people in there. That is a huge, huge opportunity that most people just don't even try with, especially in the morning, because that's when they're typically the busiest. Walk in and ask, who would like to save some money on their vehicle? And I've got multiple ways to sell out of service. That's just the easiest way. Number 5, post content on every platform every day. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Make a video about the vehicle you just sold. Tell the story why the family bought it or whoever bought it. Tell the story why they bought it. Make educational videos that help buyers. That's what people want to get. That's what right now the trend is, okay? Post at least 3 vehicles to Facebook Marketplace daily, especially new trade-ins. New trade-ins, you make the most money if you sell them fastly. The faster you sell trade-ins, the more money you make. Make a quick video. I just took this vehicle in, and here's what's special about it. Just create content. No one knows you exist. Build your audience. Make at least 70 calls every day. 70 calls is not that much. I can make 30, 40 phone calls in an hour, and I can still have decent conversations. It'll take you maybe 3 hours, maybe 2.5. If you just go. If you take it up multiple times throughout the day, it might take you 4 hours. Average salespeople waste 3 to 4 hours a day. That's the most important thing that you can do. Master the phone. Prospect by mastering the phone. No excuses. Calls create deals. Master the phone. It's the best way to generate hot leads. Number 8, use your notebook religiously. You got to be organized. I still use a notebook to this day, even with me not being. I did it when I used to sell over the phone. I did it with car sales. I do it now. You have to be organized. Plan your day the day before. It's just something that you got to do, okay? Write down every interaction. What happened? What objections you heard, so you can overcome objections immediately the next time. Your goal is talk to at least 8 to 10 people a day. You talk to 8 to 10 people a day, you are going to be successful if you learn how to overcome those the next time you do it. You can talk to 8 people a day, but if you don't learn how to overcome them, it doesn't mean anything. Number 9, post every sale on social media, especially Facebook, because friends Become friends before finance, meaning on Facebook. Take a picture and tag them immediately when they leave. Tell the story of why they bought. Go after the likes and comments. I say that to people. What 1% of people, salespeople, go after friends and comments and likes. Build your Facebook friends list on purpose. Your brand, your future pipeline. Number 10, plan tomorrow, tonight. Your next day should never start unplanned. Win the day, create opportunities, create visibility, create discipline. This is how the elite 1% are recreated. I truly believe if you do that every single day, not just most of them, every single one of them, you will win the day. You will win the day. And if you win the day every day, most people work 5 days a week. Some people do 6. You are going to have a massive month. And I mean a massive month. That's the type of months that we want. And it's a compounding interest. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and better, and your confidence goes up. So if you are listening to this and you are a salesperson and you want to level up, I give you my word, I will help you. But it all starts with commitment. If you're not committed, don't even reach out. And I've got, depending upon your budget, I've got platforms for all different budgets, because I do not want the money to be the deciding factor to level up your skill set. So reach out. I sincerely mean that. I am going to blow up my company in 2026. I would love to help you. If you were a manager, I would love to sincerely connect and help your dealership. Like I mentioned, there's things that I can do to help your dealership. And deep down inside, I've got it for all budgets as well. And I mean all budgets. My cheapest budgets for a dealership is $75 per user. And you get access to my personal virtual sales training platform. There are hundreds of hours of content. There are hundreds and hundreds of video. And I mean everything. The most important part that I would want you to start with is how to master the phone. And there is a lot of content on that. How to understand this. And this is the part, I'm going to tell one story and I'll kind of wrap this up. My first month in car sales, I started on the 16th of one month, okay? And I come from sales, selling over the phone. I am an anomaly. I am different. I'm not going to guarantee your salespeople that's going to get this type of results, but this is just my story on my first month in the car business. Started the 16th, so less than a half a month. Forgot what month it was, but the 16th. Didn't take 0 lot ups. I got a few internet leads. I just called old people. I told the management staff, just give me people to call. Mainly orphan customers, old internet leads, old service people. At the end of the month, I sold 21 cars. And I would say probably 17, 18, 19 of the people I personally generated because I dug into the CRM. That's what you should want your salespeople to do. And from the training that I've done so far, the students, the management just doesn't give them enough. Your database is tens of thousands, if not over 100,000. You just don't give them enough people to call. And then they just don't know what to say. They're not trained with really how to generate and mine. And I call it just mining because you're just mining for gold. You just don't give your people enough people to call and keep them busy and teach them what to say, phone training. And that's what, inside that training portal, the phone, the road to the sale. I firmly believe the way that I do it I firmly believe it's the best way. And you could say completely different, but I want to start doing fact finding, and that's when I start using trial closes. That's when I believe the sale happens, is the fact finding. I want to go ahead and ask, once we get you the perfect car, I don't even know what vehicle we're on. Once I get you the perfect car, would you buy it right now? And I'm not going to do that until I have the relationship and I build value and I do all kinds of stuff. But I do ask that during the fact finding. And they tell me most of the times, yeah, when I close people, when I sold cars, 70 to 81% of the people I sold every month. And I dealt with everything, bad credit, everything. But yet it was still 70 to 81%. And then on top of that, when I ran dealerships, on average, worst months with 53, 54% closing face-to-face. Highest was 61%. And that's just not one person. That's the entire team of 10 people, 9 people, 11 people, 12. So that's the process that we used. And I would sincerely, and if you already have a process, I'm not going to go against it, but I will teach people how to master every step of the sale, the road to the sale. And then you have there's I can't tell you how much information, how to maximize your internet leads, how to master the inbound phone call, your alpha mentality when you're having a slow month or a bad day, of how to cheer yourself up. There's probably, a dozen different courses in there that I've personally made. And I'll keep making courses. The next one that I want to really make is onboarding, how to onboard somebody really effectively, because I firmly believe, the statistic, 42% of the people leave this industry within the first 90 days. It's insane because we don't get onboarded. They don't tell them what to expect, because sales is challenging if you've never done it before, and bad management staff, just not making the type of money. There's all kinds of things. So I want to make sure that we get that number down, and we retain customers, we retain clients. And that's one course too, is how to retain a higher percentage of clients. Because, in NADA, they taught me the customer is worth, over the course of their life, $1 million to the dealership if you service them and retain them, over the course of their life. So I've got stuff for everybody, and I've got budgets for everybody, even if you're a small dealership. So this year, I made a goal yesterday, actually 2 days ago. I want to have 100 dealerships this year signed up for my sales training platform. I know some of them are going to be, the inexpensive training program, and I'm okay with that, because as long as you invest in your people, and this is the way that I look at it. A lot of us discount cars, and there's no way to get around that. CarMax is the only one that's going to get around that. They just don't do it. But for every other dealership, and some of you all don't discount as well, but most of us, if we have the opportunity to put a deal together, we're going to put the deal together and discount it. But instead of discounting as much, use that money and invest in your staff. Make your staff good, where they feel confident to say, to overcome a discount, and get them prepared to close at a higher percentage. If you do that, you're going to get more deals. You're going to make more gross. I would rather invest in my staff than just keep discounting cars all of the time. And the way that I do it is when I was running dealerships, I always tracked how much we discounted cars, every interaction. And we kept track of that, the manager who did it, the salesperson who did it. And at the end of the month, I show them this number, and I show them what their pay plan is, what percentage they actually would have made. And it's eye-opening. And you multiply that over 12 months, fight for your money. If you were a salesperson, I guarantee this, you are giving away tens of thousands of dollars every single year, that commissions that you could have made. Even if you get paid a flat, meaning this is what we make per deal, you lose deals because of not being as good of a salesperson. Trade in, all of that. You can still make a lot more money. If you're a management, and look at, there's multiple different ways of how I could help. Look at the inbound phone calls. National average is 1 out of 3. And just look and see how many calls you're getting, what you're closing at, and just say you want to get to 50%. When I sold cars, mine was always high 60s, 70% inbound phone calls, what I closed. When I was a dealership, it was at a bare minimum 50%. So just look and see how many deals you're really missing. Multiply in that how much money you make per deal. You're talking a lot of money. Multiply it over a year. See what your internet closing percentage is. The average is 9-10%. My goal for my dealership was always at least 12%. When I did it myself, it was 12 to 18% every single month. Most months it was about 14%. Some months a good, I would say average was probably 14%, which is stud status. Best month ever was 18. That was rolling. I only did that 2 times. But dealerships have so much more potential. We just don't train our people to get that potential. And I want to help. So I'm going to do 100 dealerships this year. So please share this with, if you were a salesperson, reach out, share it with other salespeople, because us as salespeople, we hang out around other salespeople. If you are a manager, odds are you know other managers at other dealerships. Please share this with them. I give you my word on this. I will do everything in my power to change. If you are an individual, I will change your life. I will do everything I can. If you are a dealership, I will go over. Like, dealership knows dealerships. That's why and I'll tell one more thing and then I'll end it, okay? Like, me personally, I know deep down inside that when I help your dealership, you're going to tell other people. And the reason why I say that is all of the dealerships that I have signed up right now, every one but one, I help their students get better, meaning their student reached out to me, I help them, their employee, and then they're like, what happened to you? Like, you've been killing it. And then the dealership, the management reach out to me, and then I sign up their dealership. That is how I've got pretty much 100%, meaning referrals, basically. I haven't called any dealerships yet. I'm going to start. I haven't really reached out. I've only reached out to a few dealerships, and it's just started yesterday. So, and shame on me. But at first, I did not want to. I shouldn't say I didn't want to. At first, I built my company on just helping salespeople. That's what I really wanted to do. And then it just kind of happened where I'm starting to train dealerships. And it's fun because, instead of just trying to get one student here, there, like this dealership, has got 15 people. This dealership's got 12. This one's got 8. It's like I can multiply how many people I can help just exponentially. That's the real reason. Like, I want to help people. Like, I have a great heart. Like, I sincerely believe that. Like, I do anything and everything for anybody. Like, bend over backwards for people. That is just who I am. My last name, Loveall. And I just sincerely love doing what I do. Sales is a passion of mine. And I mean a passion. Selling over the phone, that's what I used to do for 11 years. I fell in love with sales. Because it's provided me an amazing life that most people, when I grew up, I remember so many people just telling me, including teachers, like, you're never going to amount to nothing. Like, and I always deep down inside just knew that I wanted more, and I was willing to do whatever it took. And my mentor just seen that, and he went all in on me. I want to be that mentor for you, for your dealership. I will go all in. If you trust me, I will go all in for you, your store, whoever I can help. If you want to succeed, I'm going to share one last story, and I keep saying that. Like, last night, I got a message from somebody, and this individual, I'm going to pull it up. This individual reached out to me over a year ago, before I even had a sales training company, and I ain't going to say his name, but he was like, in January 7th, 24 at 6:03, hey, my name is, I am new to your page, and I really would love to contact you whenever you have time and talk cars with me. I just got a new job, and I start February 5th, fresh in the car business, and I love to ask you a few questions. I was like, just gave you my cell phone number, let's connect. And then, like, he messaged me literally yesterday at 7:52. And he was like, hey, man, he was like, hey, I'm at 13 and a half this month. It's actually a slow month. It's been terrible weather. And then we started talking, and he was like, dude, you helped me. I was used to making $15 an hour, and I was an assistant for a guy who sells cars, only making $15 an hour when I sold a majority of the cars and helped him make tens of thousands of dollars. You told me you need to go 100% commission and get used to feeling uncomfortable. It was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. And then last night we started texting, and that was through TikTok. And then he was like, dude, I bought a house. All because I took that leap of faith. And he was like, you told me, or he was like, I told you I would be happy making $5K a month. I'm making way more than that. And I passed my goal. I was like, how many cars are you selling on average? He was like 15. And he was like, I'm in the top 3 every month, but I really want to get to 20. So I want you to help me. You know how good that felt? And that was last night at like 11 o'clock when we were texting. And I was helping this individual before I even did sales, meaning training. So I love training. I love sales. I will make you or your team top notch. I give you my word on that. Share this with other people. It's 45 minutes. I try to keep the podcast 45 minutes or under because that is the average workout. That is the average drive to work. So I love you all. I sincerely mean that. God bless. I wish more people, followed, the Lord like I do. That's another story. And what I always say to end everything that I do, the videos, believe in yourself because I do. Have a great day, everybody.